Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is the next episode of us trying to recreate the Epic Games store in React, Nest, Next, and so forth and so on. In this episode, we'll try to handle validation, but first, actually, we have to handle a few issues that we left off in the previous episodes. So let me run the server. And this will be stuff like fixing the password component and handling the proper styling of the links. So maybe let's start with links. As you can see here, they have the underscore or underline rather when they're in a normal state, but if you hover onto them, it goes away, right? So in our case, this is quite the opposite. So let's handle that. So basically what we have to find is our links. Let's start with the login form. I can get rid of that. And there's a special attribute here called, I believe, underline, and we'd like to set it possibly to never, to always, sorry. Okay, let me grab that, apply it here, here, and I believe here. Also, let's go here. This register form, so that's good. Let's find the link, and we can be smart about it. No, yes, we can. We can try and find all of that. Then just add, what was it? Underline instead to always. Okay, and if you wonder how I did that, just select some part of the text and then press Ctrl and D or Command D on a Mac. So that done, we can see it's almost ready because now every single link is underlined, so that's good. But now we have to modify how it behaves on hover. So let's go to theme. Let's find link. And here we can possibly check for hover. And then set text decoration to none. I guess that should work. Yeah. Yep. So this is how we achieve our links behaving the same way as the links in the Epic Store form. Now, the next part is the password component used in register form and login form. For now, we're handling the state inside of the form, and this has some major repercussions because the component is rendering only based on two things: change of the props or change of the state. Meaning, if you change the state of a component or a prop, it will re-render and therefore possibly re-render all of its children, right? And the problem here for now is that this state only applies to this component yet we're forcing whole form to re-render, and this is not good. Maybe we could see that if we go to components in React DevTools, or rather profiler, and start profiling, and let's click this a few times and stop. And here you see that we force the whole login form to change, right? And then we did this again for the whole login form and few other times right here. Okay, let's see whether we can minimize that change and render only the password. So this is there will be a slight problem because I cannot simply extract this whole component to another component, because in the register page we're also using the very same component, or at least a similar one, but it also has additional adornment at the end. So we have to be smart about it. But let's create, how I can call this, let's call it password input. ESX, let's bootstrap the file. Okay, and now let's specify the props as a type, and this is going to be omit text field, come on, props variant, and it doesn't seem to work yet. Oh, sorry. I'm stupid sometimes. Password input props. Excuse my cough. I have been a little bit under the weather lately. Okay, now we can import it. Why we are omitting variant? Because we know we have to specify the variant to be outlined, because this is what is matching our styling, so we can exclude that. And let's leave it as that for now. So here we'll get the props basically, and we'll get our state from, let's move it here to here, and then let's import that. We can basically get all of this right here. And let's provide proper imports. It's one. Cool. Wonderful, beautiful. And now we should be able to use it here instead. So that's going to be password input. Let me see, what should we specify? Actually, nothing. Yep. So let's see whether this works. That was done in the login. Looking good. Therefore, I would like to use it in a register form too. But if I take a look at how it behaves in here, Can we format this? No, thank you. Do you have prettier settings here? No, let's, okay. It's not a problem, just copy and paste this. And maybe this will help. No idea why isn't this working. Cannot find module prettier. Let's see. Maybe if we add this, split that. Do we have that configured here? Passport. Okay. Okay. Well, get that, and let's get this, and let's get that, and see whether that helps. Okay, cool. Oh, we're getting something. Okay, cool. Way better. Okay, so this is what you can do if your printer isn't working for a given NextJS product. So what we can actually do here is to add the additional prop for our password input and specify this prop to be additional adornment, because what is great about React is that you can pass another JSX elements as a props to other components. So we can just do something like additional adornments. It's hard work. Set this to be optional JSX element array, because there might be a case where we'll need more than one. Okay, and then we have to change the adornment here, wrap it in a fragment, and now here we can render. Let's unpack this. Additional adornments. Okay, so let me just cut that out. Let's see. Then get rid of that. Then let's say password input, additional adornments. This should be an array, but we have only one thing here. And let's close this. Looks fine. Let's see. No, that does not look fine. Okay, this isn't needed at all. And let's go to the register form. Register. Okay, looking good. So now, a big test. What will render now that we extracted and place our state properly into the inside of component that is actually concerned with given state? So let's see. And stop. And as you can see, it does render here. But what is being rendered is not the whole register form, which is great, but only the password input, right? And this is what I wanted to achieve. Remember, you have to place your state correctly to prevent unnecessary render of components. It's, it's in good style, of course, but it also adds up to the performance. Okay, moving on. One thing that is still missing for us is a possibility to navigate between the sign in and sign up forms using the link itself, right? So let's see. NextJS navigation. File system routing, okay. There's a link component. I believe that is going through from the next link. The problem is we already have link component, and I'm afraid, let's see, I'm afraid this is coming from MaterialUI. So let's see. NextJS MaterialUI link. Will this work? Routing libraries, okay. NextJS example. The example folder provides adapters for usage with MaterialUI. The first version of the adapter, NextJS has a custom link component. Okay, we can just wrap it. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's grab that. And let's see where that works. So what I'm interested in is here. And that's going to be next link. And then there's two or graph. Yeah, there's graph. And this is going to be login. And let's hope that works. Looks the same. Points to exactly nowhere. Let's see this. Oh, we're on a different page. Of course, I added it here. Looks the same. And it works. Okay, so I can just go here. Actually, let me grab that. No, not that. Let me grab that, add it here, and then we can add that. Sorry. Next link href to register. Now we should be able to go both ways. Register, login. Great. I'm extremely happy with that. Well, now, basically, the UI part of our form is done. The problem now is that it doesn't really do anything. And we're about to change that. So what we need is some kind of library or a way we could use to connect the React to our form and actually get the values from our form into some kind of state that we can then manipulate, send to the API, so forth and so on. And also we do need validation on our client app. And you might ask, oh my God, why are you doing this? You already have validation in the API. Well, you should always get both right. So there are many popular form libraries. One solution you could go to is Formic. The other is Redux Form, though I don't recommend it at all. The other one that I discovered recently, and which we will be using in that tutorial, is React Hook Form. Okay? So let's add that to our project. Get started. React Hook Form. Install, please. One good thing is that you don't need additional types for React Hook Form. It already has the types built in. And let's start with login form because that's way easier than the register form. What we're gonna need is use form hook. So let's see, use form. Sorry. And what we have to define is the login form input, and I already have that defined. And this is a hook that we need to call. And you will get a few things from that one. And this is a control, handle, submit. Okay, looking good. So can you please import that? Thank you. So we have very custom text field. Not only is that custom because we're using MaterialUI, but also we decided to wrap the text input provided by text field provided by MaterialUI with our own component epic text field. And we need some way to control it. So what we can do is to use special component from the React hook form called controller. Okay. And then specify a render, so what given controller should render and what does it control. So here we have a field and we are rendering this one. It does need a name to somehow assign the value from given field that is controlled by the controller to the form state. Sorry. And what we can do is call this, well, email. Nothing really strange about that. We can provide okay, let's see how it's behaving right now. Well, there are problems, as you can tell. Can't read property control of null. Okay, we have to provide the control here, meaning which hooks actually or to which state given values are assigned, because maybe you have two forms in a given component. We have to match them together. Let's clear that. This is fine. I can type in. Okay, so Is there any other problem here? No. Okay. Now we have that connected. We can connect the other one. And this is our password input. So again, using the controller component, setting up the render. Here we're looking for something here. There's a field which is not used yet. Maybe we'll skip it for now. Since we don't need it at all. So return that. And this is closing that. This is closing that. It's closing the controller. Okay, should be fine. We have to specify a name. This, of course, is going to be password, and the control is the same state. Looking good, or not. Nothing was returned from render. Oh, yeah. That's because we use wrong parentheses. Okay. Way better. Still working as expected. Now, about handling the submission, because in the very end, you will definitely like to get the data from your form and send it to your API or somewhere, right? So every single form tag will have something like on submit. And here we can provide something like handle submit from our React form, which is a function that is taking another function. And as you can see, the signature here, first function that we'll provide, called the submit handler, will be fired whenever the form is correct, meaning it has no errors. We'll get to the validation part soon. And then there's a second argument that you can submit to specify what should happen when the form is invalid. We'll concern ourselves here only with the valid case. So let's just create on submit function here. And what's great is that the React form will inject the data from the form as an argument to the valid submit handler. And we can provide the type here. It's going to be submit handler handling login form input. Do I have to import this? Check that. Submit. Okay, that's not a word. Yeah. Okay, this is coming from a React hook forms. And for now, let's log the data and let's see what's in there. So, okay, this is something and this is something, and it's undefined, which is not good at all. Let's see. I feel what we should specify is the value and on value change to our fields, right? Because they're now being uncontrolled form inputs, meaning their value is being controlled by the DOM, not by the React. So here I can get the field injected for me. I can just spread it. And if you take a look here, the field itself, if I unpack this, has stuff like value, and on it doesn't tell that, but inside of here I have a field, and this have value, as you can tell, and on change params. So I can basically spread it here and do the same thing here. And now my value should not be undefined because we passed the value and on change. What is wrong? Oh, yeah, because here we should have rest, and it should be applied here. Okay. Still there's something wrong. Save this. Type field has no properties come with text field props. Okay. Not what I expected. There's a name, there's a field. And we're spreading that. Let's see, text field props. What is rest here? It's looking correct. There's a value, styles, classes, everything you should be able to pass. There's a name, there's a control. What we're doing wrong here? Let me figure that out. Okay, never mind. My bad. Sometimes it's just those little things, you know? Like you have to unpack the arguments of the function. Right, so now let's see. Maybe let's refresh that. Oh, okay, so there are a few interesting things here. React does not recognize form state prop on a DOM element. Okay, so does it work though? Email is undefined. Let's see. Oh, this is the very same case. Or at least that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so yeah, this is working, but we have more issues like the fact that the autocomplete is kicking in, and I don't want this. So let's go to the epic text field, and here we should be able to add stuff like autocomplete off and autocorrect off. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, this looks good. Then we have the problem with the refs because I think that MaterialUI use refs internally to track focus, probably. So we will have to do a little bit of magic. You see, this really shouldn't be an issue here, but do we have something like input ref here? Yeah, we have. Okay, and then we can take the ref from the field. So let's do just that. This is the rest of the param, and here we need to provide the input ref as a prop to MaterialUI text field, and then this will be internally applied to the input into DOM itself. So basically this should, oops, sorry, should now be solved. So this ref, this should be input ref. And is that it? I wonder. Yep, looking almost good. Now there's another problem. Because we're changing the component from being uncontrolled to controlled, meaning it is starting with no value, and actually its initial empty value is being stored in the DOM, and then as soon as we start typing, we'll provide some value from React, right? From our field prop. So we can do that and it will work, but we have a warning there and I would really like to get rid of it. The simplest way you can do that for an input or any form of control is to provide a default value. And thankfully, controller itself allows us to pass that as a prop. So here and here we can provide default value, and this will inform our app that the React is handling state and is handling the state of the input from the very beginning, right? There's not a moment where its value is being stored into a DOM, and therefore it is always being considered a controlled input controlled component. Okay, let's try that. That should remove the warning. And we're done here. Okay, so the next part we have to do is to apply the very same principles to a registration form. So I have this interface here already prepared. One interesting thing is that we're starting country as an object. I haven't decided yet whether we should send the name to an API, the whole object, or just a code. Maybe just a code, because we should store as little as possible. We'll see. We'll see. We'll get there when we get there. Okay, so again, we can get rid of it since this is being handled internally. And then let's see. We need our use form. Use form. Okay, this is coming from React hooks. We need control and handle submit. Let's start with the autocomplete. Okay, so here we have a controller. It has a render function. Here this is being closed, and then there's the close of that. Okay, what we need is, of course, the control to point to the correct form state. Then we need a name, and this is going to be country. I also specified that the value here should be country or null. This is because the autocomplete is generic component, as you can tell right here. Therefore, I can specify the default value to be null. And basically, we need a few things here. We need our field, and we need to spread it. And then we need to add the onChange method here. And here's the event and the value. I don't care about the event that much, so I can just place an underscore here to ignore it. Then let's say chosen country, and I can apply it to my field using onChange handler, chosen country. And that should work, and that should compile. Let's see. Each child in a list should have a unique key prop. Check the render method of password input. Oh, okay. This is because we should specify a key here. Tooltip, and then I assume here we should have show hide. This is because we are rendering a list right here, and well, React needs keys, as you probably know, while rendering a list. That should be fixed now. See, we can still choose our stuff, so that's good. Yeah, great. Moving on. Then it's more of the same, really. So we have controller here. The name is name, and the control is control. Close it. This is surname. Let's do render first. Close it. Name is surname. The control is the same. Okay. Then there's display name, controller, render, close it, close the controller. This is display name. Okay, looking good. So input. Render. Get that. Oops. Okay. Someday, probably, I will learn Vim to be more proficient in editing the text files, but today is not the day. Now, this basically covers the fields. There will be one thing that we need, and it's the we won't be sending the newsletter, right? So we can skip that, but we need to make our checkbox with label work with React hook forms too. So we'll get a controller here. We should probably provide the default values there. So let's just find that one with the default value. Next one, that one, this one, and it's good. As you can see, this is very, how do you say, versatile and classic, because you can basically control any input for a user that has a value and on-change interface. So for this one, we need stuff like we can get the field. Just spread this and see what happens. And here we will give it a name of soups, terms accepted. Okay. So we need a few things set up in our checkbox with label. Let's see, we have the label, we have the checked on change, or maybe I edited this file of recording. That could have happened. Basically, you have to pass you set up the props to be form control label props to get from MaterialUI core. Then you have the checked value, which you pass to the checkbox, on change that you pass to the checkbox. Rest you can, well, we can omit that for now. Yeah, this is looking good. Let's see where that works, but to see if it does, we need to check our button. auth button has a type of submit. This is one thing to remember when you're submitting the form, that your buttons have to have the correct type, right? The same goes for the login form. It also has type of submit. And now I can go here and say on submit, handle submit with on submit handler, which we will create just now. It's going to be open submit. This is going to be a submit handler with the register form input. It has a data and we do log it. And you might be wondering why I am providing these types explicitly to given function. And this is because then TypeScript can infer the type of the data right here. Basically, it would be something like this. It's the same, right? And it should still be working. So let's see. Okay, have forgotten something. Let's see, control, yeah, here. Okay, and let's check Albania, Wojtek, my name, let's see, React, dev, some kind of password, and I understand. And it does not work. L. This is working, the country is working, display name, the password, name and surname is not working. Okay, why? Oh, of course. Same issue. So we have to get that, spread it, get the field, spread it, get that, spread it, same here. Don't spread it here though. Okay, this is autocomplete. So trying this again. A component is changing from controlled to uncontrolled. Okay, let's try this again. So we missed default value somewhere. Let's see. Oh, here. This should be false by default. Let's see now. Okay, although we have a problem here. Function components cannot be given refs. Attempt to access this ref will fail. So this is basically the very same. So what we need to do is to get the ref, get the rest, spread the rest, and basically should we use the input ref here? Yeah. Okay, clear that. Try this again. Password input. Oh, we basically need this everywhere now. Okay, cool. This is going really boring, so just skip it if you want. We're just passing the new refs for MaterialUI so that it can control the focus. This should be good. Yeah, we have to do this everywhere. Again, get the ref. It would be easier if the if we that could if that one the ref would be renamed to input ref, then the name of the prop and the name of the argument would match, but we have to change it by hand because they're out of sync. Okay, so this is done. What about the autocomplete? Well, what about it? Each child should have a key. Let's say password input. I was sure I passed this. Maybe I didn't. Okay, now. No errors, no warning, and all the values are in here. Okay, so again, under an hour, but basically this is how you can handle the state of your forms with use of MaterialUI and React Hook forms. In the next episode, probably we'll move to validation, and the next one after that should be us actually connecting the API and forms. So we have another 2 episodes planned. Let's see, you should be able to find that code in the repository, part 7 form validation. Let's push it, and you'll find it in part 7 branch. Thank you very much. If you'd like that, comment, like, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.